green flagged this dude. He said, you know what? It's okay for this game to have a freaking 5-minute trailer. Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another 24Karat review. This is our first ever review of a conference. So this is going to be about the State of Play conference from PlayStation on the 6th of August 2020. So we're going to briefly go over all of the games that were shown during the press conference, and we're also going to be giving the conference a score out of 10. That being a score for myself as well as an average score given by the 24Karat Club. As always, if you would like to get involved with the reviews, then be sure to follow me on Twitter or like on Facebook or join the Discord or catch the live streams on Twitch. All of the links are in the description below. After we saw the amazingly good PlayStation 5 press conference showing off the new console itself with some new games that we can expect to see within the near future for the console, I had lower expectations for this since I already knew that there were going to be only primarily PS4 games shown at this conference, and that's fine. I am all for PS4 games. The PS4 is still an amazing console, and there's still some really awesome games coming out for it very soon, like Cyberpunk and maybe the new Call of Duty. I was hyped in my mind thinking, okay, there's going to be some awesome games coming out potentially in this press conference. And the conference did start off well with Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot is looking super good, super slick. The game looks very smooth, very Ratchet and Clank-esque, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing that. Whether I actually get it or not, that's another thing. I'm not too sure. I enjoyed the remake, but the remakes were extremely difficult and almost to the point where I didn't enjoy it, whereas this game looks like it's actually going much more for the Ratchet and Clank kind of feel, Pixar-looking movie, and it looks really good, actually. I'm hoping that the game does well so that we can see more Crash content in the future. This press conference also had a lot of VR stuff, so we got to see Hitman 3 was going to be in VR, along with this really crappy looking Star Wars VR game. I say crappy, I mean like it looks like it's going to be a really unpolished, very short experience just from looking at it. I'm sure a lot of memes will come out of it. Same with pretty much any VR game, to be honest. I think the only VR game that's been the exception to the rule is Half-Life Alyx, but like I say, that's the exception to the rule. There's been very few VR games that have come out guns blazing and done super successfully. Braid is an amazing game. I haven't yet got to play it myself, but it was one of those indie games that really set a standard for the whole industry. This trailer, I think, almost overhyped it. Like, I was expecting a massive AAA, maybe a new one, even though it did say not actual gameplay. But I'm excited for this. Like, for people who haven't gotten to play Braid themselves, this is going to be a really awesome experience, and having a full HD remake will be freaking awesome. One of the strongest showings though was The Pathless, and this game looks like it's going to be one of those Journey / Flower type games. This is actually made from the same people that made Abzu, and it also has the same art director from Journey, and that's why the game looks so similar and looks so really cool. It looks like Journey with bow and arrow combat, and that looks awesome. And we also have Austin Wintory as a composer for the game as well, who is also an amazing composer in his own right. The movement looks very fluid. I'm just wondering how sprawling the open world is. Maybe this is just one level, or maybe this is a whole game. I'm hoping it's just one level and that we get to see more environments, different enemy types, that sort of thing. I am happy that we got to see a lot of gameplay from this game though, because it really does look impressive. Spelunky is a hugely respected game that I'm happy to see is actually getting a sequel. I myself am not really into roguelike games, but this game is huge among my friends, and it looks like it's going to be having a lot more improvements, and new environments look really awesome. Weebs rejoice. We get to see like a Japanese or Asian looking style of environment, and the new mechanics also look really awesome. This game is definitely going to be around within the speedrunning community and also for fans of the series. And PlayStation really had weebs covered with this game, Genshin Impact. It basically looks like Breath of the Wild for weebs, which honestly I'm all for. Maybe I'll even freaking get this game. It looks like there are multiple protagonist. The art style reminds me of Breath of the Wild. Some of the moves, like the ice on water, like there's so many things that look really good about this game. Yeah, interesting looking IP. Aeon Must Die also looks like a very interesting game. It sort of looks like it's going to be a fighter, but the art style is really selling me on this game. Whether I'll personally buy it or not is yet to be seen. I feel like more details need to be shown for the game, but very interesting looking game. There was another really intriguing game showed as well, Anno Mutationem, which has a fantastic blend of like 2D pixelated 2.5D environments, which just looks extremely intriguing. And the end of the game looked like it was almost going down a Doom route, Doom Eternal, set in a cyberpunk-esque city with combat that looks like it's from Transistor. Of course, the game made by the people that made Octodad Bugsnax is shaping up to be the meme game of the year for sure. Definitely one of the most creative games of the year. It's Pokemon basically, where the Pokemon are food, but you eat the food and you become the food. Like how high were the people when they were making this game? Like, it looks actually really interesting as well with the capturing mechanics, and it was good to see some more clarity with the actual gameplay of the game. Okay, so upon reflection, I don't think the Star Wars VR game looks awful. It actually looks like it could be a very well-made, full-fledged VR game. I think the reason it looked bad to me was because you can see the VR hand motion, which doesn't always come across in the best way possible, but it actually does look like it could be pretty decent. We then have Control. Control is getting an expansion, which looks really interesting. Control, I actually really did enjoy last year. I do still believe it was slightly overrated. The graphics are amazing. The gameplay was also fun. I was actually hoping for potentially a second Control, but I'm fully down for an expansion of the game. Auto Chess had a pretty weak trailer, honestly, but it does look like it would be a good game if you're into those sorts of games. I myself have never played Auto Chess or anything like it, but there you go. It's there. Enjoy. And as we headed towards the end of the conference, we had one of the most interesting and intriguing looking games shown at the conference, The Pedestrian. This has an awesome view of the real world, but you're also looking into signs and control the pedestrian, and you can also control the puzzles that the pedestrian interacts with. I love puzzles like these that have like a sort of external perspective to them, and this looks right up my alley, me being a huge puzzle game fan. The art style looks really awesome. The puzzles look very intricate with electrical circuitry and just getting your way from A to B as a pedestrian. This looks like it's going to be a very, very good game. Next up, what looks like a very interesting Robin Hood Dark Souls crossover kind of game, Hood Outlaws and Legends. This game looks very interesting. I'm not too sure what it's about. Maybe it's a multiplayer game by the looks of things, but the trailer was very impressive, and then it also looks as though we got a glimpse of gameplay towards the end that looked very cool. Next up, we had Temtem. Temtem is already a game that's been out for a little while on the PC, so this wasn't a huge announcement or anything. Not something brand new, something we've already seen, but it's good to see that it's making its way over to console on the PlayStation systems. I've heard a lot of people say they prefer this game to Pokemon. It's essentially a Pokemon MMO, so that sounds awesome in my books. I probably won't be playing it since I did recently finish Pokemon, and I'm kind of dragged out on turn-based RPGs now, so at least the game will be opening itself up to more audiences in 2021. And finally, we have our last game, which honestly, in my eyes, was just completely dragged out and milked beyond reason. Godfall at this point has been shown at the PlayStation 5 press conference. I believe a snippet of it was also shown at one of the Xbox conferences. And now we got a full-blown, almost 9 minutes of showtime, which comparatively to the rest of the games shown was an extremely long time. And if you weren't interested in this game, it didn't matter, because you were going to see the whole freaking tutorial, all of the classes, the combat, the same animations repeating over and over. The game does actually look somewhat impressive, but when you show it this much, it actually made me lose interest in the game. I was originally interested, but It just looks so samey, and the presentation of the game made it seem as though this was a revolutionary game with brand new mechanics, but it's actually so similar to any other dungeon crawler and loot collection game that I've ever seen. It's honestly a shame because I truly believe that Godfall being shown at the end this way did actually drag the whole press conference down. What this press conference really needed was oh, and one more thing at the end of it after that awful showing from Godfall. Even Twitch chat was just putting non-stop resident sleepers because this section of the show just dragged on completely. Granted, I don't always agree with Twitch chat, but in this case they were absolutely right. So that was the press conference, and with all of that in mind, let's go to the scores we've given. The 24 Karat Club gave this press conference a 6 out of 10. And I myself am giving the press conference a 6 out of 10 as well. This was an above average press conference. There were some cool announcements here and there, but generally there were a lot of games we've seen already and very few big new announcements. PlayStation had a lot to live up to after its fantastic PlayStation 5 reveal, and it sort of fell flat. Luckily, later this month, we do know that there are going to be more details about the PS5 release. Hopefully they'll be able to bring it back a bit more and show off some more new games, such as maybe God of War and maybe a new Silent Hill game, which we've been hearing about. Either way, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more reviews of video games, of conferences, more highlights of games in general, and a community where you can get involved with the reviews most importantly. And until the next video, this is GoldKarat signing out. Peace.
What'll it be?
Are you on the menu? Something hard. Get ready to watch some gorgeous girls make cocktails, watch some gorgeous men be socially awkward, and watch some gorgeous men become gorgeous women.